Hello Drive Radio fans, Richard Rush here today with my dad, John Rush, behind the camera. This is the review of the 2016 BMW 7 Series. This is the 750i xDrive model, so BMW's all-wheel drive model. This is completely redesigned for 2016. They've had several commercials on this lately, talking about the carbon core frame and a lot of that. We're not going to get into a ton of the structural design of it. Just know that this is completely redesigned for 2016. They've really amped this up and amped this class up in this car to compete with the other vehicles in its class, some of its competitors, Mercedes-Benz, Porsche, just to name a few. As you'll notice, and I apologize for the noise, the fan is running, which is a feature on this vehicle. Anytime you take a drive, you take a stop, in order to cool down that engine just a little bit better, lets that fan run. You don't have to do anything, doesn't drain your battery, lets that fan run for a little bit of time. So again, redesigned for 2016. Going to do this review a little bit differently in terms of kind of how it's laid out. We're going to revert back to our old format just for this car. In terms of exterior looks, you can kind of see this car right now. And Dad, why don't we just go right into the walkthrough? I'm going to go over a lot of different features. I'm going to talk as fast and as clear as we possibly can. So bear with us on that. What's the biggest change for this year? There's now no short and long wheelbase. You notice the fan just shut off. So there's no short or long wheelbase anymore. They are all the same standard quote-unquote long wheelbase. So from wheel to wheel, 126.4 inches. You've got a nice other couple features on there. You'll see right here the unique LED lighting that is on the 750i xDrive. It does have the adaptive lighting. Those are optional 20-inch wheels. It does come standard with 19-inch wheels. Upgraded leather, again, on this trim I'm going to give you for the 750i xDrive. 20-way power front seats, heads-up display, power rear window shade, 12.3-inch gauge cluster, 10.2-inch central display, and a lot of other different features. I wish I could tell you them all. We're just going to talk about a few. As you come along the back, you'll notice the lines of this car. I'm going to dive into, in my opinion, just really quick, a brief opinion of it. I think the car looks fantastic. It looks beautiful. BMW has done an excellent job, and for a car that's $130,000, and yes, I will say that one more time, for a car that's for $130,000, it looks pretty good, and it looks for kind of what you would expect a car of this stature to look like. A few of the packages that are available on this vehicle: the Autobahn package, the cold weather package, driver assistance plus package, which includes auto park, blind spot monitoring, forward collision mitigation, driver assistance plus 2 package, executive package, an M Sport, luxury seating, and specific to the 750i xDrive, as of right now, is the rear executive lounge seating, which we'll show you in a second. That adds a power footrest in the passenger side rear seat, foldable table on that same side, dual entertainment screens, and the touch command tablet, which is down there. This vehicle has the Autobahn package, which we mentioned, driver assistance plus, the executive package, the interior design package, luxury seating package with cold weather, the rear executive lounge seating, which is the rather expensive option at $5,750, the 20-inch wheels we talked about, the display key, and we don't have the display key with that. Something to note, it's kind of up in the air, and you'll see that in the commercials with the US on that. Basically, the display key can actually allow you to remote park your car, essentially, almost kind of futuristic James Bond type of stuff, be able to do some different things with the car when you're not in it. It's up for debate in legal terms here in the US, so right now you basically just have a standard BMW key fob that you would normally find, but if not, it would be the new key fob that actually has the display right in here. Something to note, not a huge thing for us, just we did not get a chance to test that out. Another few options on there are the night vision with the pedestrian detection, the Bowers & Wilkins sound system, the panoramic sky lounge LED roof, and the destination charge, for a grand total of $129,245. You can see that, and again, we'll show it to you on the best we can on the inside. A lot of cool ambient lighting. And Dad, since we're on the back side here, why don't we go right into the trunk? You can open it from the back here, or you can also hold on the key fob, press it, and open. It's a fully automatic trunk. a nice 18.2 cubic feet of cargo room here in the back seat, which is pretty ample. We actually took a road trip this past weekend to Kansas, to Hays, Kansas actually, which is about a 5-hour drive here from Denver. And we were able to fit carry-ons back here, whatever we needed to. It was a short trip, but easy to do. You've got some nice storage along the edge. You're not going to get a whole lot in here, but I could see you being able to have room for a golf bag or two in here, most definitely. Not the largest by any stretch of the imagination, and you'll notice it's got a little bit narrower of a trunk. Again, you've got those seats, you've got a little bit more room that they need to prepare for, the adaptive suspension, all of that. So very, again, just something that we do like to point out for everyone. As we come along the side, I'm going to show a couple features. We're going to kind of show you the back seat before we get into the back seat. So nice wide doors. You can unlock and lock all the doors from all 4 doors as well. So we're going to open right here. Very nice wide opening, and as you can see, really nice interior what BMW has done, and we're going to try and mix in our opinion here just because it's hard not to on a vehicle like this. So as you can see on the interior, this is the rear executive package on here. We're going to show you the apportionments, some very nice wood grain along here. You do have an opening for, honestly, a little ashtray, which I'm not sure why you would smoke in a car like this. Very nice apportionments. All of down here is your seat controls, which you're not typically going to find on a vehicle like this or in a vehicle in general. This is for the lounge mode, which actually, you know what? Why don't we show them what the lounge mode is? So this is, you can't do this with the person in the front seat. We tried. It causes them to fold up into weird positions. So you press this button, and actually I may have to turn the car on to do that. So I think we do. We have to turn the car on. So we'll finish the rest of this review and we'll kind of pause that, or for the rest of this section. You have all of your controls for your power shades right here for both side windows as well as the back. And you've also got your nice door sill plates illuminated. You have massaging rear seats back here, the dual entertainment screens that we mentioned beforehand. Really some nice features in here. So with that, Dad, why don't we actually power it on, show what the lounging mode looks like, and we'll talk about the rest of the back seat. All right, everyone, we're going to actually kind of show you the rest of the back seat on the inside. Want to show you again, nice wide opening doors we mentioned before, climbing in and out as a breeze. One thing I do want to mention prior, this does have what BMW calls standard LED carpet lighting. So when it's dark, when you approach the vehicle, it actually kind of lights up, gives you ambient lighting. It's again a kind of a futuristic luxury feature that you could say. So you kind of hop in, or I should say more like just slide in with ease, and you sit back here. And as you can see, I'm in a comfortable position here, able to do that. But the car, again, car's powered on. I'm going to push my lounge button. What that's going to do is it's going to lounge me back and move this passenger seat all the way forward. So if you were being chauffeured around, you had someone that you wanted to chauffeur, maybe an executive that you just brought into town, whatever it might be, you have the ability to do that. It's doing all of this manually. This is an electronic adjustable display, and again, we'll show you that here in just a second. But as you can see, it's doing all of this manually, moving everything forward. I'm not touching a thing, and here in just a second, you should be able to see the footrest that will plop down. Right there, again, that's a part of that rear executive package is the power adjustable footrest. And you know what, Dad, why don't I just take off my shoes really quick, and I'll just kind of lounge back here for everyone to see. So this is the new BMW 2016 BMW 7 Series, extremely comfortable, massaging seats, ventilated, heated, pretty much anything you could ask. You do have 4-zone climate control, so the 2 zones up front, the 2 zones back here, full cup holders, as I mentioned before, the heated and ventilated seats. You've got all of your seat controls right here, and I can control my footrest position right from here, so everything is controllable. One thing we do want to note, which again is an option, is this Samsung tablet back here. So it's ingrained into the kind of the center console right here, but if you push this little eject button, it opens up and allows you to control everything right from here. And I know it's very difficult to see with the glare and everything else, and we won't get too much into it, but you can control everything that you do, as well as some of what's going on in the front seat, all from this little tablet, which is a really cool feature. And it again makes you just controlling things easy. You never have to get out of the car if you don't want to, and we'll talk a little bit more of that as we go on. Last few things, heated armrests in here, something that's a really nice feature. So while both of these do open up, you do have a table that opens up right here. folds down so you can do some work if needed. As you fold that back up and push that down, though, again, heated armrest right here, really nice feature. Massaging seats. I'm going to push this back up and put my seats back, or my shoes back on. Real quick, Dad, something to note as well. Really nice carpet in here. Very, I mean, again, we took our shoes off. My wife and I did. We were in the back seat, took our shoes off. Really incredibly a plush vehicle to use. You can control the ambient lighting back here, the color of the lighting, everything that you possibly can do. Last thing we want to show you before we head to the front seat, or not last thing, last two things. Power shades here. These are all, again, all based on the buttons. We'll show you those right there as they go up. Again, everything's powered. There's not hand stuff done. It's all kind of integrated into the door system right here. And you can control not only the rear shade back here, but you can also control the shade right up top here. Last thing, again, this is a BMW feature that we really like. Barely close the door, and it sucks it closed. So you don't have to slam the door. You can literally set the door closed, and it keeps it, and it will suck it in the rest of the way. So with that being said, why don't we actually hop into the front seat? We'll show you a little bit of the interior on the front side of things, and then we will take a drive in the 2016 BMW 7 Series 750i xDrive. Fans here for the front seat, kind of to show you what the front passengers experience in terms of apportionment. Want to show you the door, as we always like to do. Again, some nice wood grain, the nice brushed aluminum look. They just very nice high upscale features that BMW has added. You really are in a luxury sedan with this. Really, again, nice, very comfortable seats. Again, we went probably, I would say, almost 1,000 miles this past weekend, nearly. Very easily to do so, not difficult at all. For taller passengers, this can come out. Let me see if I can show you that. The hip kind of can come out. Again, that's part of these 20-way front adjustable seats. In terms of the rest of it, you do have heated armrests on both sides, which is really, really nice for heated seats if you're in a cold climate. This does open up, and you've got the ability to store a small amount of compartments in here, you could say, or not compartments, but you have a small storage compartment. Front glove box right here, again, to store a few other items. What else is there? There's a lot of other features we want to show you during the driving portion. The steering wheel is kind of in the exit mode right now. That will come down a little bit, and then when this is closed like it is right now, again, very easy to see how nice this wood grain is. Everything's just very nicely put together, very compact. All of your selections, the xDrive system right here, which those of you that are BMW fans have come to know, the gear selector, your different modes, cameras, raising and lowering the vehicle as you are able to. Again, a lot of great handy features on here that you're able to access. So with that being said, we're actually going to take a quick drive, go kind of through some of the driving features and how this car actually performs. Then we're going to come back, and both of us, kind of in separate parts, are going to give you our review of the 2016 BMW 750i xDrive. All right, fans, here's the driving portion, 2016 BMW 7 Series. Before we do that, I want to show you a few quick features in the back that we forgot to do in the walkthrough. Those nice pillows, they've actually got a 7 stitched in the kind of each in those bottom right hand corners. A nice cool feature. Really nice plush, especially for road trips. That's fantastic. The above feature, we want to show you the sunroof and what that looks like actually open up. All of this does light up. It's hard to see, but you can see those little kind of diamond things. Those light up, which is really nice. Sunlight Dad, I don't know if you want to leave that open or not. We probably can. We'll actually even open up this front one as well. Again, a lot of great, nice features that BMW has added. Really quick here on the front console. You can individually control each vent right up here for if you want it to go to warm or cold. Right in here. All of your other controls are on the center stack out for your climate. So you've got both, again, both climates right there. They each have their own individual fan speeds, as well as the back. It's the same thing for that. So you literally have 4 individual climates. This does have kind of the Ionic Breeze, Ionic fragrance, which actually will put out a scent throughout the vehicle. You can choose the 2 different scents. There's a cartridge in the glove box that you can change out. Nice feature, again, just a nice luxury feature that they have. Everything else is pretty standard. That you can do its dual screen, split screen display over here. The BMW iDrive technology. There is an auto hold functionality on here we wanted to mention. Other than that, Dad, actually we'll kind of show them really quick right here what the rear view camera does look like. So as you can see, you got the dual zone. You kind of have the overhead view right here, as well as your rear view camera view. So as you kind of back up to the curb, we're able to do that. It's sensing the weeds right now. We'll pull out of here really quickly. There is the night vision, which we can throw on here really quick, if it will allow me to. For right now, we'll just leave it. One thing that this vehicle does have is a gesture control system, which is a standard feature on this car. And what that does is right in here, and I'll show you, so bear with me on the sound.
When balance is paid, and line must be active for 24 months.
You literally can control everything with your hand. There's a multitude of other features. Not something I would say I would buy this car for, but it's a cool feature to show your friends and family. We were kind of talking about it as a family. It's just a cool feature, to be honest with you. Not much else to say about that. So with that, Dad, why don't we take a quick drive? It does have the auto stop functionality to help with fuel economy. It's rated for, I believe, and I don't have that sheet in front of me, I believe it's rated for about 16 and 25, if I'm not mistaken. 19 average. We were actually able to average about 26 on our highway on our way back. It's got, let me think here, 5 modes. Eco Pro, Comfort, Comfort Plus, Sport, and Sport Plus modes in terms of the suspension. It's got this special air or dynamic suspension that's active comfort suspension that's part of the Autobahn package. Basically, it's got cameras around the outside of the vehicle that senses in milliseconds the terrain and adapts the suspension to that terrain so you have the smoothest ride possible, and I can tell you it works fantastic. In terms of quietness, we'll talk about that in the opinion portion. Relatively quiet for this vehicle. I will say this just real quick as a preview. The road noise that you have driving right here at about 20-25 miles per hour is the same road noise you have at 80. You can be the judge if that fits you and what you do or what your personal preference is later on, but just something to note. This got a 4.4 liter V8. I believe it's a twin turbo V8 if I'm not mistaken. Puts out about 440 horsepower. That's not an exact number, so BMW fanboys, don't beat me up on that. I'm just giving you round numbers. Bottom line, more than enough power, more than enough torque in order to get you wherever you need to go as a vehicle. We're going to kind of come up in traffic. We mentioned before, it does have the dynamic cruise control, so the auto start stop. It does have the lane departure actual mitigation, so it won't actually let you move a lane unless you've got a turn signal on. It's got the night vision detection on here. We'll see if that will work right now. So starting the night vision, it will work. We showed you that in our other BMW systems. So it's for pedestrians. If you're driving on a real dark mountain road, you can go that route right here. I'm going to step on the gas here really quick. This car feels heavy. It is heavy. However, you don't notice it when you need to get up and go, which is a good thing. So that's pretty much about it on the driving. We can sit here for about another 15-20 minutes and walk you through every single feature on this car, but we're actually going to head back, and I'm going to give you my opinion first, and then my dad, John Rush, who was behind the wheel for about a 9-10 hour road trip, is going to give you his opinion. Again, this is the 2016 BMW 7 Series, the 750i xDrive. All right, fans, my opinion. 2016 BMW 750i xDrive. BMW's all-new 7 Series. When you think 7 Series, you think class, you think excellence, and BMW has brought that with this vehicle. Their main competitor they're trying to compete with is the Mercedes-Benz S-Class. We were actually in an S-Class last year, and they compete very similarly to each other. Very similar powertrains, very similar luxury features on the inside. This car is made for an executive or a company maybe that is picking up a lot of executives. Here in Denver, we have the Broncos, and they tend to pick some of their players up in an SUV. Well, if they didn't want to, you could certainly do it in this vehicle. There's a lot of nice features, ample legroom in the rear seats. It's not made for an everyday driver. I'll say that in terms of if you're just going to and from work every day. Now, could it be? Certainly. If you have $130,000 to spare, I'm not going to tell you what car to buy, but personally, that's kind of what we feel this car is made for, who this car is made for. It's a very smooth ride. One thing I do want to comment on, and I hate to have any negatives about a car, the road noise at 30 miles per hour is the same as the road noise at 80 miles per hour. And that can be a good and bad thing. Good news is it doesn't get much louder than when you're driving at 30 miles an hour down the road. So for 80, 100, whatever you're driving, you could do so with ease. Downside to that is you would expect this car to be a little bit quieter driving around town than it is right here. So just something to note, something that we made note of. Would that prevent me from buying this car? You'll have to be the judge. But with that being said, I'm going to turn it over to my dad, John Rush, for his opinion.
All right, folks, again, my son Richard behind the camera now. I'm going to give you my opinion. John Rush is my name, my opinion of the all-new 2016 BMW 7 Series. And fabulous car, say that right up front. Really enjoyed driving it. I spent throughout the week, plus a nice 9-hour road trip, spent a lot of time behind this car, more than I typically do. What did I think driving this car? Runs well, handles well. It's a dream to drive. We took a long trip where I had my wife and Richard and his wife. Actually, we all went together. So I had 2 passengers in the back, wife in the front seat. I drove, sort of in a way felt like a chauffeur with all of the other amenities that are inside of this car. I kind of felt like the chauffeur driver. I'll tell you what though, I didn't care. Driving this car, I love driving. This is a dream to drive. I'll just tell you that right up front. Fantastic car. Again, handles well, runs well. Plenty of horsepower out on the open road. Got to pass a semi-truck, anything along those lines, step on the gas, run right around it, no problem. Adaptive cruise, lane departure, all of that works fabulous. It really makes a 5-hour road trip, which we did over the weekend each way, a dream. You're a lot less fatigued coming off of a drive in this car in 5 hours than you are a lot of the other cars that I've driven over the years. Again, this is a car that when I was a kid, the 7 Series was sort of like that car. If you could ever own one, that'd be one of the cars you'd want to own. And you know what? It hasn't changed in my opinion. With the exception of a little bit of road noise that I think is a little loud for this particular car. Richard mentioned that, and that's another complaint that I personally have. Outside of that, I have no complaints with this car, other than maybe I'd love to see a little more trunk space. Again, one of the things that we noticed this week, 4 of us in this car, packing our luggage and such in it, it's a little bit tight on space. Other than that, fabulous car. Go check it out at your local BMW dealer. Tell them John and Richard Rush from Drive Radio sent you.